As the healthcare leader of the Tri-Parish community, Terrebonne General Medical Center is a nationally recognized facility providing state-of-the-art technology and advanced services. Terrebonne General compassionately provides the most services responding to the greatest needs for our community.
All right, welcome back to Your Health with Terrebonne General Medical Center. And as I promised, Laura Malonzo is a registered nurse at Terrebonne General Medical Center. She is a coordinator of infection control at Terrebonne General. And tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the flu.
All right.
And we've all got the flu before.
Of course.
Of course, when I get it bad. But I haven't. I'm gonna knock on some kind of wood because I haven't had it. But
that's because you've been taking your flu shot.
I've been taking vitamins.
That was close.
You're right. But let me ask you this, so just to start off, what is the flu?
The flu is actually a very contagious respiratory illness that you get, and it's mostly in the winter months, and that would be the months between. We really start seeing flu in October through March. With our peaks being in that January and February months where it's really, really cold. Mm-hmm. And what happens is you can get the flu. The flu is transmitted by droplets that are produced when you cough, sneeze, talk, and do your everyday type of activities. And what happens is when you're talking or sneezing, you expel these droplets, it gets into the environment, and the next person comes along and they touch the environment, or the droplet gets on them and they end up with the symptoms of the flu. But what happens is, and the big problem with the flu is that people are actually contagious before they have symptoms of the flu. So you can actually transmit the flu to somebody else before you even know you're sick.
That's little virus.
That is correct. That is correct. Very tricky.
That's how it survives.
That's how it survives. Yeah, that's how it always has a viable host, is because it is transmitted before you actually have symptoms. So you can be at work and not even know that you're sick yet, and you can actually be giving it to other people.
Now, who's at risk, most risk to get it?
People that are at most risk is those people in either the very young, the very old. Of course, that's pretty self-explanatory. Mm-hmm. But then the other people, you think of people with chronic illnesses, respiratory illnesses, heart problems, people that take chronic steroids, mm-hmm. Those type of people are the highest risk people. And then the other type of people are, just people who are not up to their best health.
Right. Now, the symptoms that you get that are associated with the flu, can you go over those a little bit?
Yeah, well, the flu, if you think about ever having the flu before, the flu actually, you hear people say it, God, it feels like I've gotten hit by a truck, because it comes on very, very quickly. You can be fine 1 minute, and then an hour later you feel just awful. It's characterized by very high fever, a lot of body aches, malaise. You can have a sore throat, runny nose, those type of, almost common respiratory type of illnesses. But with the flu, it's mostly a very high fever, and it comes on very quickly.
Different levels of it, though, because I've gotten the flu before, and some are worse than others.
Of course, and it just all depends on what strains you have circulating in the environment for that year.
I hate to even know how many strains they are.
There are millions of strains of flu, strains of flu, yeah. And what they do is they produce the flu vaccine in anticipation, they do a lot of epidemiological studies to predict what strains you're going to see active for that flu season. Now, this year, our flu vaccine actually contains the H1N1 flu vaccine, the flu shot in it. So you'll only need one vaccine this year. So it's a combination between the seasonal and the H1N1.
Now, how can I protect myself and others watching from getting the flu?
Again, the number one thing we can do to prevent flu from occurring is always to get your flu shot. And I know sometimes that's easier said than done, but your flu shot is our greatest asset to prevention. It's one shot, like I said, it's one shot this year, so it's less painful, because last year it was 2, but it's one shot. It's just the thing we know that works. It may not protect you from every strain of flu that's out there, but it will protect you from most of the strains of flu that are circulating.
Now, who should receive it?
Basically, your high-risk populations that we talked about before. This year, the guidelines say 6 months and older. So everybody over 6 months of age should be getting their flu shots. Of course, people with illnesses, chronic illnesses, healthcare workers are another big one because they're taking care of the sick population. Other people especially that live like in long-term care facilities, dormitories, those type of places where you're going to have a congregation of people that are going to be together in those times where you have a lot of the viral strains circulating.
Now, you're around the flu a lot, but do you get a flu shot because do you build up a resistance to it?
Actually,
being in the field you're in?
It's I am one of those people that have gotten the flu shot for years and years and years, and I'm glad to say, if they had wood to knock on, that I hadn't had the flu in forever. So I'm very fortunate. But what they say is that it does build some immunity. It may not be to every strain of flu that's out there, but it does give you some built up immunity. But you still have to take that flu shot every year.
Well, that's good, because if you believe in it, I'll believe in it. Because I know how passionate you are about it.
That's correct.
Is there anyone who cannot receive it?
The people that should not ever receive the flu vaccine is those people who are allergic to eggs, because we know that the flu vaccine is actually made from eggs.
Okay.
If you've ever had a reaction to any type of vaccine, especially the flu shot, you should not take it. And then those people under the age of 6 months should not be getting the flu vaccine.
Good information. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have more. We're going to bring up some graphics about flu shots up on the screen, so don't go away. Very important information coming up right after the break.